Welcome back to the Sano International Cricket Ground. I'm your commentator Garth Thomas. And what is the final T10 match of the afternoon? It's 4 p.m. local time. The game between the Kawasaki Knight Riders and Sano. Looks like to be Hiratsuka Kazuma bowling the first over, and the first ball a bit straightish, and batsman just turns that behind fine leg for 4 runs. Kawasaki Knight Riders just coming off a victory a few moments ago, finishing probably around 15 minutes. A successful win. We have Gur and Shukla, who are batsmen at the crease, and Shukla starts off with bang bang, 4-4, and already Kazumasa Hiratsuka is under attack. As often happens in T10 cricket, it's certainly an explosive format. Every ball is should be targeted for runs by the batting team. Not always easy to hit boundaries though, so a good team will balance boundary shots between tight singles and stealing 2s and 3s from gaps in the field. Pass score probably 110 plus. But Kazumasa comes in, and that has not been squarely struck, and mid-on comes around to field that. That would be brother Shotaro, very good fielder. And just the one coming off that shot, so Shukla now off strike, and Naveen Gur perhaps is how it should be pronounced. Apologies for that. He's on strike and just swats it over mid. Won't go all the way. Didn't strike it sweetly, and yeah, 2 runs completed. A good throw in from the boundary. Sano Cricket Club pride themselves on their fielding. They are a good unit in terms of catching, fielding and field placement, so a bit of a new look team for Sano today in this match. A couple of their regulars who are a part of the Japan national squad have been rested perhaps, although just looking around the field, yeah, I believe there is no Ryan Drake and no Sakurano Thomas. Could stand to be corrected on that. But Sotawada, the club captain, valiant attempt from the fielder at mid-wicket, and looks like he may have done an injury. It's a bit slow to get up. I believe that is Shotaro Hiratsuka. I think he timed it well with his jump. And there's sort of a hand up there, almost an apology to his teammates, but yeah, perhaps a catch he'd expect to take. Wasn't an easy one. As I say, he just got his right mitt to it, but goes down and they scamper through for a single. This time, played out again. Shotaro attacking the ball. No run. And that brings about the end of the over. 1 over gone, 14 runs from it. A good start here for the KKR. Sano just coming off a game previous to this one on ground 2, coming off a loss against the men in blue. And KKR, of course, coming off their win, so they do sit atop of the table. alongside the Falcons. Goes to play over the covers, or perhaps just looking to get anything on it, but it's just skewered off the bat behind third man, and who's up in a short position and goes all the way to the boundary. Quick outfield here at Sano, and what are hot conditions, hot humid conditions, probably around 33, 34, probably feels like 37, 40 if you're out there in the middle, but of course we're in the first 3 overs of the power play. Oh, he shot. That's all the way over the stands here at Sano. Big 6. And just catching this on the replay. Just gave himself room. Sorry, that's the previous ball. So Sano already under pressure. This is Wakita from the mountain end, digs in a short one. The bowler gets away with that. It's not called a wide, it's called 1 for the over. 1 for the over being above shoulder height but under head height. Not bad tactic there from Wakita. And again, another good ball that seems to cut in. We're not directly behind the wicket here at the Sano commentary box, but to me, whether he rolled the fingers across and just cut that one back in or just cramped the batter for room. It's a good delivery, good comeback from the initial 2 boundaries. And again, an appeal. Perhaps if Wakita's appeal was more powerful or perhaps more inspirational, the finger would have gone up, but sort of a half appeal from the bowler, more interest from the keeper. Again, another good ball though from Wakita. It's a good comeback here, and just as I speak, it's swatted away wide of long off. Doesn't reach the boundary, wasn't middled by no means, and batsman returned for 2. Not a bad comeback there from Kohei Wakita. May have easily have had Shukla caught behind, but adjudged to have been safe. Captain Wada just marshalling his troops out there. Looks like 10 for Sano will come into the attack. Another good game of cricket here this morning at Sano, the Women's Premier League, and of course invited guests from other countries. We had visitors from Australia, South Africa and Hong Kong as part of the Premier League 3-match series that finished this morning. Driven out to long off, wasn't middled, and Sotawada does a wonderful job pulling that back, moving his big frame of his down to save that, and just the 2 runs coming from it. Yeah, we had the West Eagles against Eastern Waves here in Japan. The Eastern Waves getting up 3-0, claiming the trophy and the honours. Numa back into the attack. Sorry, his first over, of course. And misfield out at cover. And that allows the batsman to come back for 2. Kakinuma comes in. Batsman gives himself room and caught and howled, yes, howled. And Kakinuma-san will be happy to see that batsman just stepping out onto the onside to give himself room to hit through the covers. Gets under it, but not enough to clear cover. He was standing right on the edge of the circle, 30-yard circle, and after taking it, there's an initial bit of a juggle, but cleanly held and good catch. What Sano needs, a wicket. Perhaps this can be a start of a momentum shift for them as they try and restrict KKR to a score of, I'd expect, under 100 runs ideally. They do have a good bowling attack, does the Sano club. Lots of choice in the bowling stocks, especially when all their players are available. As I mentioned earlier, without their Japan national team members, Ryan Drake and also Sakurano Thomas, who'd usually bowl an end or two, but great opportunities here for the other bowlers, and there's a lot of talent coming through the grades in the Sano Cricket Club. It looks to be strong in years to come, and I guess that's because of the good work that JCA are doing in terms of exposing the game of cricket to local schools, elementary through to high school, creating opportunities for players that may want to play locally. Sotawata just fiddling with the field. Kakinuma's made a good start. No boundaries yet. One wicket. It's just bringing across the fielder into mid-wicket. Mid-off. Left-hander on strike with Priyank. Good work from Kakinuma. I'm sure the batsman will be safe, but yeah, good straight ball. A bit foolish perhaps, but batsman just plays a bat to him, and he quickly gathers and flicks it onto the stumps. Appeals for a run out, but not given. Two balls remaining. Can he continue the good work, Kakinuma? Big chase on here. Batsman come back for two. Perhaps a better running, a third was available, but almost perhaps expecting that to run away to the boundary, but Sano fieldsman did well. Helps with having a youthful team full of energy, even and perhaps used to the conditions, temperatures. Looking to bounce back our Sano club after an earlier loss. And played out to point, forward of point. Good fielding, takes a shot at the stumps. Good backing up. Good cricket from Sano, and what was a good over from Kakinuma. Just the 6 runs coming from it, but a wicket, could be a key wicket. They would dearly love Shukla, who sits on 21 off his 9 balls. But not a bad start from Kakinuma. I'm sure he'll have a second over later on in the innings, where the captain chooses to keep him going following this end. bowler is Ozeki-san, coming in from the mountain end. And it's been deemed wide. Keeper standing up to him here. Keeper will be Chihaya Arakawa, part of the under-19 squad that recently returned from an outstanding tournament in Darwin, Australia. And this time, can't really see if he's getting any shape on the ball. Our commentary box is on a bit of an angle here, and just looking at the camera work there from that end too. We're not directly behind. There's a bit of an issue with the camera a day or two ago when the ball was struck from the nets that hit the existing cameras that sits behind the wicket. Apologies for that. It's a big shot. 6 all the way, and on a lot of grounds around the world. Good shot. Batsman Shukla stepping out to the offside, freeing up a big arc, square and behind square, and nails it. Good shot. 6 runs. And hopefully Ozeki will just carry on, put that ball out of his mind. It was a good shot. Sometimes you've got to credit the opposite bowler or batsman. That was a good shot. Let's see what it comeback ball. And he Yorker length, skewered out onto the deep mid wicket, just for the single. So in terms of Shukla, boundary and a single, it's good cricket. He moves on to 27 of his 11 balls, so already playing 28, playing a vital role for KKR. I wonder what their target will be. I guess Sano, without a couple of their players, they may feel 100's enough, 110 perhaps, but there's still talent in that Sano team that can chase down that score. So fielding from Sano, good chase by number 55. Sorry, I don't know his name, but chased hard to save that boundary. Now in limiting the runs. This is Zeki, just sort of bowls a fullish length, a bit wide of stump, fourth stump perhaps, and just played out to point. And yeah, short, wide, and tonked for 4 runs. Yeah, you can't bowl there, sorry. It's Shukla's meat and drink. He loves it there. We saw earlier a shot. He just gave himself room and tonked it for 6, and this is a similar shot, giving himself room. The pace was of no problem. It's just a matter of watching the ball onto the bat once he was in position and making sure he connected, and once he did, 4 runs. KKR, and what is now looking like a very good start. 47 for 1 after 4 overs. Carry on like this and they'll end up around the 120 mark, but they'll be looking to capitalise even more, I'd imagine. Oh, hard luck. It was Shotaro Hiratsuka's come back into the attack, and left hand just turned this round the corner, and to be honest, it was touch and go there. as far as the fielder from Sano is concerned. He is just to his left and perhaps catchable. It wasn't a great ball from Shotaro, and he'll know that. Needs to be better with his line. He's played a lot of cricket for his age, has Shotaro Hiratsuka. Local cricket here. Very good fielder himself and bowler. He's an all-rounder really, because he can bat as well. We saw that in the under-19s tournament in Darwin, where he made a couple of good contributions to his team's cause. Japan finishing second in that tournament, which was a great tournament from them, only losing the one game to New Zealand, who were hot favourites and expected to win. Short and cluttered. Perhaps Shotaro tried to get the pace through there, but the pace did not worry Shukla at all, who just cleared the front foot and cleared the boundary. It's a ball they may have to search for, or a new ball may be required. No, they found it. Clear the fence here at the Sano ground, surrounded by mountain on one side, Mount Karasawa, and a river on the other side. Yet to learn the name of that river, but in between that river is some scrub, forest. And it went into that area. Shotaro Hiratsuka, how can he come back here? By beating the batsman, who looked to replicate the shot earlier, hit him out to cow corner. No real appeal. Runs so far off this over. It's important how he finishes here. And good fielding. Good fielding. But the non-striker was backing onto that well, called his partner through quickly and made it safely in the end. Not much of a shot, that's for sure, from Shukla. Was lucky to get away that it didn't go onto his stumps. So final ball here from this over, and it's a dot. And Captain Wada will be extremely happy with the dot to finish. So 12 in the end of the over. It's just the 6 and the boundary at the beginning of the over that hurt Sano. But Knight Riders, well, they'll be happy. 59 for 1. 9 wickets in hand. 5 overs. What sort of score are they looking for? Perhaps 120 plus. Who knows, 130. Can Sano restrict a score of that size? Well, we'll see in the next 5 overs. Skewed. Point going back. Taking it safely. Caught. A wicket for Sano, and that's always a help in terms of stemming run flow. Just having a look at the JCA replay. Batsman, well, he just sort of didn't really get in good position, but he definitely edged that out there, as perhaps looking to hit straight or out onto the onside, but outside edge skewed up, and Point did the rest, taking a comfortable catch. Second wicket falls here, 59 for 2. Can this be the start of something for Sano and just shifting the momentum? Vinay Iyer comes to the crease for the Kawasaki Knight Riders. And the bowler is about to adjudge that as a wide. Just previously having commentated on Vinay Iyer's previous match, of which they won. Vinay scored 51, not out. Was key in that run chase, so big wicket here for Sano. Oh, just as I say that, he gets him gone, bowled. Vinay looking just to come forward and turn that onto the onside, and clean bowled. Played all around it. And what a great wicket for Ozeki. He'll be stoked with that. Vinay Iyer, a very handy player and experienced player here in Japan cricket. Was a part of the national squad last year in their victories over South Korea and Indonesia. But yeah, I think it's a big wicket for Sano. They've saved themselves quite a few runs with how I was watching Vinay hit the ball earlier. I just mentioned before the scrub over by the river here at the Sano ground. He put one in there that was lost. So Ozeki-san makes a good breakthrough for Sano. As I say, what Sano will be aiming at this stage just to try and keep that score to 110, 100. It's going to be hard to do that, but it always comes back to your bowling and how you execute your plans, execute your field. Watching previously talked about the Women's Premier League, there were some excellent captaincy from Chandao and captaining their team through to victory. Some of the field settings were excellent. It's important to get right depending on the strengths of your bowler and the areas that they are capable of bowling. So can KKR just turn this momentum shift in their favour again? 2 wickets and a wide thus far in the over. 60 for 3. Ozeki back into the action. Full. Almost a collision between keeper and batter. After the throw coming in from mid-off was a little askew, and keeper just had to go wide to retrieve that, but no harm done. So with a couple of key wickets, Shukla and Iyer out. Now responsibility lies upon caught. Just checking the umpire here for the height of the ball on connection, but wonderful catch, wonderful catch. Pretty sure it was Soto Wada, the captain, although I have to watch the replay here. The ball was wide and high and turned to the onside, turned fine off the batsman, and didn't quite middle it. And no, number 10, that's not Soto Wada. I'll find out who that was. It's Kakinuma. Kakinuma-san with a great catch. Had to track the ball and move to his right, and in the end, again, a wicket and the third of the over. So Ozeki-san and the teammates, his fellow teammates, have certainly changed the momentum here. Big shift. 4 down now, KKR. Just 61 on the board. And Ozeki, well, he still has 2 balls to bowl. 3 for 17. Can he add to that? This is his second and final spell, of course, so just the 2 balls remaining. New batsman, Ansari, alongside Tanwar. Some of the big wickets in the shed for KKR. Can this be an opening for Sano? Gets an edge, if anything, onto it. And coming back for two. Cast an eye towards the umpire, whether he did get bat on it. Yes, he did. Final ball for Ozeki. Commentator's curse. Shouldn't have opened my mouth. It was a wide. Another ball to come. Extras so far. Only the 4. It's not too bad. Whacked out onto long on coming in. Restricting it to just the single and the end of the over. And I'd have to say a brilliant over for Sano Cricket Club. 6 runs coming off it. Also 3 wickets. Zeki had Shukla out caught Hiratsuka. Kazumasa Hiratsuka caught that. And the second wicket, Vinay Iyer, was out bowled. And the third wicket, Preenyanth, was out caught by Kakinuma. So, good in the field have Sano been. Leaves the responsibility of posting a competitive score over that 110 mark up to Ansari and Tanwa. And we have Shotaro Hiratsuka to combat that. Bit full and turned onto the onside. Deep mid-wicket coming in, restricting it just to the 1. So good speed off the boundary line from Sano. Sometimes if you see a bit of hesitation or a half effort from the boundary fielder, there's 2 runs there, but not that time. Shotaro coming over the wicket to the right-hander. Hit big, long, over the stands here at Sano Cricket Ground. They're not huge stands by any means, but that's a big shot. And it's probably travelled 80, perhaps 90 metres. Good 6, and certainly it only takes 1 ball, 1 shot to see that run rate again rise. Going from 10.7 up to 11.4 in 1 ball. Good work again in the field. Point. Yeah, a bit of a shake of the head, I think, in disappointment, but nothing to be disappointed about. It's a good pick-up throw. And Arakawa behind the stumps was clean. Good cricket. I think that is Kohei Wakita, who was fielding there at point. Now the left-handed drifting out to deep square. He's quite close to his deep mid-wicket. In fact, coming even closer. I wonder if... How is that? That is gone. Stumped. Good work from Arakawa. You love those as a keeper. And just having a look on the JCA replay. Ansari comes down the wicket trying to clip Hiratsuka onto the onside. Misses the ball, and, well, Arakawa took care of the rest. Clean gather and removal of the bails. Sees another wicket, and apart from that 6, the last 2 overs have been all Sano. Ansari makes 4 off his 4 balls, so he's going to run a ball. Tanwa at the other end, who remains, is 8 off 3. Debnanth is joined Tanwar at the wicket, right-hander. And Shotaro just darts one in to the pads. He digs it out for a single onto the onside and end of the over. No, there'll be another ball. Just with that change, however, of batter, they've dropped mid-wicket out deep onto the boundary. It's punished behind point. Giving chase as the Sano fielder. Gather and retrieve is just 2 runs. That will bring an end to the over. 76 for 5 after 7 overs. So current run rate, that 10.9. So still looking at a 109, 110 mark. However, whether KKR lower order are capable of doing that, we'll find out. I'm not sure how deep they bat, but certainly if you've got a pinch hitter who can hit a clean ball a long way, you can add another 30, 40 runs to your total of 3 overs. But Sano will have something to say about that, and I'm not sure the quality of these batsmen out here at the moment. But it looks like Kohei Wakita. Hold on, I'll just check that from the mountain end. No, sorry, it's Kakinuma. One for 6 in his first over. And just play it out into the onside. Deep squares coming around, trying to restrict it to just the 1 run, but the batsman will, in fact, I'm taking, they're going to get through for 3. Yeah, first perhaps an error we've seen. Haven't seen too many errors in the field from Sano, but there's one there. Picked up by deep square, and I want to say he released the ball, it went to his left 10 metres way off the wicket, and I want to say that was cause of which end to go he was going to throw to. Originally I believe he would have been throwing to the keeper's end, but saw perhaps one of the batters being a bit short, so decided, I think, to go to the non-striker's end, and that just resulted in the ball being released too late. That allowed the batsman to come through for a 3rd. Good delivery there from Kakinuma. Perhaps just if he can cramp up the batter a little bit more, don't allow them any room. Fortunately, he may have tried that, but has strayed down leg. So these final few balls critical to the end result of this game, perhaps. I say Sano without a couple of their regular players, but they certainly do have other stocks that are manageable, capable of running down this total. That's played behind point and beats point, and once it beats point, it's going to go for 4, which it did. Valiant effort there from one of the Sano fielders, who I felt almost put himself in danger diving. He dived just to try and clip it back from the boundary line, but in doing so went across the covers towards the metal stand. I'm glad he pulled up short before that. It would have been a headache. Back live, Kakinuma. Batsman just plays it out to long off. They'll only get the 1. Good delivery from Kakinuma, and these, what I guess you still term the death overs, so just try not to give the batsman too much room. Ideally hitting a Yorker length, but easier said than done. Just you're not allowing them to free their arms and hit over either the on or offside. Important last ball here for Kakinuma. And wow, that was close. So batsman in the end gets 6 runs for it. Tonks it down to long on. Batsman, I thought, was in danger of being caught on the boundary. The fielder was coming round to take that. Perhaps being a bit optimistic and feeling he could have caught that, but yeah, it wasn't far from his hands, and valiant leap to try and clasp it one-handed. Much needed 6 for the KKR's team. They would have been hoping, as we talked about earlier, they were looking at 130. It's amazing how wickets can change expected totals and run rates. They will still be looking, I guess we have 2 overs remaining, so they still will be looking for over that 110 mark, 115. We'll have the return of Hiratsuka, brother Kazumasa, this time from the school end. Got him, gone, bowled. And no celebration at all from Hiratsuka. It's, and even Sotowada is almost saying, don't come in to congratulate the young man. Let's just conserve our energy and focus on these remaining 11 balls. But yeah, good delivery from Hiratsuka, just a nagging length and line, taking out middle stump. And, at 6 down now for KKR, and Kazumasa's first wicket in this match, 1 for 14. He certainly bowls well, does Kazumasa. Usually opens the bowling for Sano Club. I've watched a lot of the games, or followed the games on the app, and very miserly in terms of economy. And often takes wickets at the top, so can get shape. Not sure what ball they're playing with, but if there's any swing to be had, Kazumasa will extract it. I think here he's just aiming to cramp the batsman, keep the lines tight. He's got a very defensive field, so I guess Captain Wada's happy and allowing them 1s and 2s. It's more protecting the boundaries at this stage. 5 boundary riders for Hiratsuka. Deep cover, long off, long on. Deep mid-wicket and deep square. So expecting your bowler to keep it relatively straight. And full, nothing short. Anything short will be hooked or pulled easily for runs. If not, played up and over points. So can't afford to be short here. Another good foolish ball. Clipped out to deep mid-wicket for 1, and Sano will be quite happy with that. Sano in the black and gold colours. And this time again he's bowled nice and full. Batsman pushes it out to cover, who's right on the, it's Captain Wada actually, standing out there, right on the circle. 30-yard circle, as deep as he can. As I say, just protecting the signals. The angles look good from this commentary box. I overlooked the offside field. full and gone, and you got to be pretty talented to ramp or lap that, especially in a position of being that upright. Perhaps if you get lower, but bowled him. I'll just check he bowled him and didn't play on, but I think clean bowled, and another wicket here for Sano. Just watching the JPA replay, and yeah, looks to me straight onto the stumps. Can he? 2 for 17, and a brilliant over from Kazumasa Hiratsuka. Just the 3 runs coming from it, but 2 wickets and 1 dot ball. So 1 over remaining, 95 for 7. KKR would dearly love 110 plus. Sano, well, ideally they'd love anything under 100. Not easy to do. Just looking as perhaps it will be Kohei Wakita to finish the innings. Just the 5 bowlers Sano have used. 3 for 21 for Ozeki. Hard luck dropped, but perhaps didn't quite get there, the fielder. Not an easy one to take, so shouldn't be too disappointed with himself. It's in the context of the game, it doesn't mean much at all. I think they ran through for a single. It's not a problem. The batsman doesn't look like he's going to hurt you too much. It's on to the next ball. 4 to come, and Risti turning it onto the onside. Coming back for a second. And the throw to the keeper, probably not a bad effort. Or a bad call going there, but safely home the batsman. Well run. It's where batsmen really need to use their smarts. If you're not going to hit a boundary, then rather than hit a strong ball out to long on, play with soft hands. You'll pick up 2 rather than 1. And yeah, Kohei Wakita. Yeah, well done. He refrained from perhaps shying at the other end when he could have, realising there was no one to back up, but completely used a variation ball. Saw it clearly from here, the slower delivery, and, well, to be fair, it bamboozled the batsman who this time batsman pulls it onto the onside. Deep wicket comes in, fires it back, and completely aware of hard luck. 2 runs anyway. Deep wicket came in extremely quickly to field that ball. Got it in, realising the batsman would be looking for 2. Would have limited it, but unfortunately came off the keeper and skittled away, and batsmen do in the end come through for their second. Shanmugam on strike, keeps this again, goes to try and hit onto the onside, but just doesn't time it. Only the 1 run. Shanmugam jogs through for a single. We'll bring Ramakrishnan onto strike. Final ball, and it's high, wondering if it's a no ball. Struck, batsman backing up, going to the keeper's end, but home safely, and it is a legitimate ball. It has not been deemed above waist height, hence is the end of the innings. And KKR, with that just managing to get up above the 100 mark, 104 for 7. The total and target for Sano, 105 will be the target for Sano. And looking through the scorecard quickly, Shukla at the top, 39 off 17, got the KKR team off to a hiss and a roar. Tanwa 20 off 9, good contribution as well, but other than that, maybe Pregnant 10 off 9. Sano took wickets constantly. Lots of batsmen getting starts but going nowhere with 4, 7, 6 and 4. So credit to Sano and fighting back in between those good innings. The bowling stats, 2 for 17 from Kazumasa Hiratsuka. Bowled well at the top. And so did too Ozeki, 3 for 21 off his 2 overs. 3 wickets, almost turning the match a little. The momentum shifted towards Sano. All 3 wickets fell in 1 over. And of course, Shotaro Hiratsuka and Hirotake Kakinuma, both a wicket apiece, 1 for 22 and 1 for 23. We'll take a bit of a break. Please join us for the chase of 105 runs. So, welcome back to Sano Cricket Ground, number 1. A T10 battle between Kawasaki Knight Riders and Sano Cricket Club. Kawasaki Knight Riders batting first, making 104 for 7. So 105, the magic target for Sano. Opening with brothers Kazumasa Hiratsuka and Shotaro Hiratsuka. It's not the first time they've opened. Done it probably numerous times in junior cricket, but as of late, they sometimes do so for Sano in the 40 league format, Division 1. But couple of key batters for the Sano team and chasing down this total. Let's see how they go. It's older brother Kazumasa who's facing. And off the mark with a single. I like that. Perhaps you might see a different approach from Sano as to Kawasaki Knight Riders. Sano batsmen perhaps more using technique and looking to push shots into gaps for 1s and 2s rather than relying on boundary hitting. As I say that, Shotaro just goes to try and heave that over the covers, gets a big outside edge which flies up. Should have been caught at point, was dropped. But you're just a bit short of length to be able to do that. Shotaro, he would have had to have muscled that over cover, but not an easy shot to play. Brother Kazumasa back on strike, who goes to cut. Jar, the bowler for the Kawasaki Knight Riders, just ambling in, uses a strong arm or shoulder action and creating pace rather than his run up. Kazumasa just muscles that onto the onside for a single. Yeah, Abjit Jar just quite a probably 15-meter run up, but he just sort of walks the first part, then a very easy jog in, and then uses the shoulder to create power, and that's a wonderful shot from Shotaro. Finishes up short of the boundary, but lovely cover shot. Not afraid of giving it air. Here's he cleared. It actually dissected the fielders out at cover and mid-off, but should it gone to them, it would have gone over their heads. 5 off the first 5 balls. And this will be clipped away for 4. Good shot. Nice shot. And gets support from the dugout or the changing shed, the outside tent here at Sano. That final ball, 4 runs, means 9 off the over, and that's a good start in chasing 104. As I say, a lot will rely on probably 3 or 4 batsmen in the Sano lineup to try and chase this down. As I say, a lot of the players have grown up through cricketing programs here and all have very good techniques. As I say, a little bit different in terms of how KKR play the game, who are boundary hitters first and foremost. Singles are secondary, and we can understand that being the T10 format, but certainly there are some batsmen in the Sano lineup that can pick their spaces and find the boundary, so should be a good game. With the remaining 9 overs, don't switch channel. Taking a lot of time here to get the field set right. I wonder if it's... No, it's not Lene Ayer who's bowling. It is. I'll update you on that. Comes in for his first delivery, and coming down the wicket was Kazumasa, who just turns it onto the onside. Looking for 2, but just the 1 run. Pruthriyaj, again apologies for pronunciation. It's probably a shocking attempt, but the new bowler. It would have been, yeah. I liked how shot. 6 runs, and me talking about before how Sano play a different game, or Shotaro Hiratsuka has just proved me wrong there. He's just picked that up outside of off and muscled it out over mid-wicket boundary. I guess it wasn't too wide. He didn't have to fetch it too far. It was probably about a 4th stump line, but good 6. Still looking for the ball. As I say, he hit it out towards Mount Karasawa, which is adjacent to the cricket ground here, and well, before the mountain is a road and some scrub and a fence line. They're just looking for it in the scrub. While that happens, we'll take a break. Maybe I'll try and update you on the other game going on. I believe it's Men in Blue against the Tokyo Rangers. Men in Blue batting first, made 106 for 6 off their 10 overs. And the Tokyo Rangers, well, it's the first ball of the innings. Nothing's happened yet. Perhaps if I look at Men in Blue, how they went. Kumar of 22 runs. Patel, 40 off 15. So, good contributions there. And 16 off 9 from Balmac at the end. So back live here at Sano. The ball has been recovered. Sano are 16 without loss, and that's wide surely. Well, it's hit as the sorry, I should credit to the umpire that he was going to signal that. I thought he'd missed it. They scamper through for a bye as well. Just wondering if it hit the edge of the pitch, which might just... Anyway, next delivery. Leaves it alone. Does Kazumasa. The older brother of the two, facing, uses his feet, goes to hit out over, oh, hard luck, could have been a great catch, goes to hit out over the covers, sort of skews it, and, well, I want to say, point came round, got a hand, got a mitt to it, didn't stick. Would have been a great catch if he'd held that. He certainly had some land to make up, but 2 runs anyway. And stumped. Been out, given, stumped. Kazumasa Hiratsuka just, yeah, moving his feet and coming out a lot of the deliveries to create some pace into a shot. Yeah, it's a bit hard to actually see that, but clearly, I'd love a side camera here at the Sano cricket ground, but it's a bit unrealistic, to be honest. Square leg umpire, of course, had the best view, and good work from the keeper to take those bails off at such speed. New batsman coming out for Sano. Is Ryan Drake. Interesting, I know Ryan being a member of the national team for Japan, which is about to head off to Papua New Guinea on Tuesday. I know that tomorrow, it's tomorrow. I know that he was rested for the earlier game, but perhaps he's come out here just to help his team, have a bat, a bit more practice before hopping on the plane. And plays that nicely onto the onside and skittles through for a run. Good cricket. Made some good runs for the Sano club on Saturday's game in Division 1 with success over the Wombats. 31 not out from memory, including 3 sixes. So that's a good shot, and he's done well, the keeper, but good at running also and getting back for a second. Yeah, Shotaro Hiratsuka hit straight, lofted shot. I thought for a moment there, mid-on, who was on the circle, had a chance, but no, kept going. And but he did awfully well in pegging the ball back for a boundary and just restricting it to 2 runs. So good over, entertaining over. A wicket coming, of course. Out stumped was Kazumasa Hiratsuka. Ramakrishnan, the wicket keeper, who got the stumping. But 8 overs remain. Sano 24 for 1, so 80 needed really off, or 81 if you want to be technically correct, off 8 overs. Still on here, should hopefully an exciting finish to finish the day. Current run rate's at 12, so could be game on here. But as I say, first 4 or 5 batsmen for Sano are critical. They really want to get the job done, not leave it to the lower order. Drake just punishes it out to the covers for an easy single. And I just want him, perhaps rested in the earlier game, of which I must say the temperatures were up around 35 and it probably felt like 40 on the ground. Seems a bit cooler now, probably dropped around 30, but the sun's less intense. Some shade covering half the ground on ground 2. Hiratsuka just drives that out to mid-off, and good running from Ryan Drake. Aware, direct hit, but easily home. Drake aware that there was a slight misfield and coming back to the danger, and that's good thinking cricket, and picks up another run for his partner, Shotaro. Yeah, ground 2 is almost covered half in shade, thanks to the trees that neighbour the ground. You may see the long shadows on your TV screen, the players. The sun is setting here. Drop and go, love it. Good cricket, another single to the Sano tally. You do need 10 and over, but you don't have to do that in every over. Can play safe, non-risk shots like that and pick up 6 and over, perhaps 7, then you're within the game and you're keeping wickets in hand for the onslaught. Drake goes for that onslaught. Clears the boundary, 6 runs. Didn't get all of it, he'll tell you that. But enough to reach the probably 65-metre boundaries. That's probably a bit more actually. It was a good hit. And he, as I say, he didn't get all of it, but did enough to clear mid-on. And mid-on is right now being dropped back to long on to perhaps cover or take that shot out of the arsenal of Ryan Drake. Batsman. And he gets him. Yeah, bowled. Off stump, I believe. Just, yeah, top of off. And, well, the perfect comeback, isn't it, for the bowler? Understandably, Ryan was probably sent out to do a job and try and take advantage of the 3-over power play. So, hence, he was probably going for another boundary shot there. Understandable. There was, apart from long on, there was space out long off. And I believe that's what he was eyeing up. But bowler just too good in this instance. And another wicket falls for Sano, 34 for 2. The run rate's good. Up above the 10. Certainly helps when Ryan Drake hits a 6 for your team. Earlier on, of course, we had a 6 from Shotaro Hiratsuka as well as his 4. So they score less boundaries, perhaps, than other teams here in the domestic competitions, but Sano often score more runs than other teams in terms of running between the wickets. I mentioned earlier Ryan Drake coming back for a good second. A lot of teams miss out on runs such as that, which always add to the tally in the end. Doesn't matter how you get them. But probably another attacking batsman for Sano that usually comes in later in the order. Kohei Wakita comes to the crease. Only the 1 ball remaining in the power play. And he'll find the boundary. Good shot. 4 runs. Great shot. And I tell you what, it's good thinking. It's the last ball of the power play. There was mid-on, long on had come up to mid-on. And there was no one straight on the boundary. No one at long off or long on or straight. So Kohei Wakita, anything that was going to be full, that's where he's going. Good shot. And just keeps Sano above that run rate required. Currently, well, that's... they're currently, going at 12.7 and over, requiring now just 9.6 and over. So on target. As I say, KKR will be looking to take wickets constantly. They'll probably know that the lower order of Sano won't be as strong as it usually is, and will be wanting to test those new players, debutants perhaps. I'm not sure if there are any debutants, but I do know there are some from the younger grades, perhaps the under-19 team. A great opportunity for them to be playing in this competition, and I guess it's another advantage of having this new competition, the T10 format for Japan cricket. Some clubs have given opportunities to those that don't often get them to play on the #1 ground, even though it is on the artificial turf. Does expose them to a higher grade of cricket, and you often learn a lot more when you do so. It's like any sport. Reminds me of my golf. When I play with a better player, I'm a better golfer. When I play with a worse player, I don't often have the best game. Shot, punish, that's 6 all the way. Into the nets here, the cricket nets here at Sano. And Kohei Wakita hits a homer. Nice shot. Belted it. Long on. Never with a chance of that. I want to say that's 80, 90 metres. could almost be 100. It pitched at the bottom of the nets. I'd like the groundsman Ryan Drake to measure that out at one day for his fellow teammate, or the ground staff here at the Japan Cricket Association. Smart cricket too, then just following it up with a single, rotating the strike. Caught. His partner Shotaro Hiratsuka playing a shot out to long on, who comes in, takes the ball comfortably around waist height. Had to hold on to it, but does it with the support of his body. I'm just having a look at the replay coming in. Does our cameraman get that? No. Shoddy work from the cameraman. Have to have a word later, but yeah, no. Held it safely. Probably used his body to help support the catch, but taken comfortably, and another wicket falls for Sano. 3 down now. Shotaro Hiratsuka played a good contribution. I'll say 19 off 9. Have to check those, the scorer. And that looks like it's Soltawada. Big strong frame of Benzo comes to the wicket, and comes to the wicket at a good time really for his team, and as a decision maker on how to play the remainder of this game. 58 needed from 6 overs, so it's not all bash. There's a lot of space when I look at the ground. Wakita, if he just pushed it onto the onside, there's an easy 2 there. Just wary of his hitting power, and right on the boundary. And he just plays this down on the offside though for the single, and Benzo, his partner's onto it, but opportunity for a second, but I guess Wada was backing up so well that he ran through the crease, and no opportunity for a second. Probably over comes to an end. .49 for 3. So of course that over we saw fielding restrictions end, hence more fielders on the boundary covering those boundary shots, but what that often does is frees up a lot of space and around the block, and if you're good enough you can pick up 12 off 6 balls. Relatively risk-free, but I'm just looking at the boundary sizes here at Sano, and the circle is very symmetrical. Probably 65, 70 metre boundaries. So, as I say, put it in the right areas, especially on the onside. There's massive room out there at square. But bowler obviously not bowling short, he'll be bowling full. And outside of off, that's where he's got the protection from his teammates. 6 actually, it's a 6-3 split. So I wonder if Wakita can realise that, and perhaps, and it's gone straight up and should be caught. Is caught. Long off, coming in to take that, and yeah, I was just about to say, I wonder if Kohei could realise the strength of one side, the offside, to the other, and manoeuvre his body or step across to the offside and open up that onside space. But in the end, he just went for a big shot. I want to say straight, and played it straight up out into mid-off area to be caught, but we continue. He had a good little contribution there, did Wakita. There's 12 off 6 balls by my count. Another up-and-coming talented batsman for the Sano club is Arakawa. Hopefully I haven't put the curse on him. But technically, I love how he plays his game. That's just stupid. Bad communication there from Sano players. Captain Wada and Arakawa. I think Arakawa wanted to. It's halfway down the wicket. Probably wasn't there. Probably got the firm no from his captain and senpai. And well, what I didn't like is that he didn't exactly try to get back to his crease. He had given up and started walking off. But I tell you, in cricket, you never give up. And it happens a lot in run-outs. I saw it, I do believe I saw it in the Women's Premier game. I can't remember the exact details, but the batsman completely gave up and just walked off. And I've seen funnier things happen. But anyway, back live here. Sotawada looks guiltily down to the umpire. Look somewhere else, son. Not out. And I think you can stop your appeal there. It's ended. It's been given not out. May have been a feather through to the keeper, which would be understandable in the umpire not hearing anything. May have just been thin air between the crack of the bat. Sound coming off the turf, but given not out. And Tanwa disappointed. This time Wada turns it onto the onside. Now that's good cricket. They do make it home safely. He turned it onto the onside. Deep mid-wicket, having to come in from the boundary, so Sano batsman pushing for 2. And alongside good understanding from Toizumi, they do make it. Good cricket. Wada bangs it in, bangs it square. Bowler bangs it in short, and well, that's meat and drink for Sotawada. Loves that, and I think he likes it there, and he just clears it for 6. Acres of space out there too, so I'm pretty sure he would have been eyeing that area up earlier for the short delivery. Great shot from Sotawada. And sorry, I'm just having a few technical difficulties with the updating of the score, just to check that everything's right. Could be an interesting finish here. At the moment, teams are rather neck and neck. Sorry, yeah, I'm just looking at my the stats. They have Toizumi. Now, I don't know if that's correct as hitting the 6, because unless I'm wrong, Toizumi's a left-hander. Could be wrong, haven't seen much of the lad play, but I believe that is a mistake from our scorers. We'll wait and address the next ball, but I do believe that was Sotawada who hit that 6, and yes, Toizumi's the left-hander, so hopefully someone will alert our scorers as to the mix-up there. Toizumi is on strike. Space for him out cow corner area if he can clear mid on, but he just dabs it out into the covers, the cross bat, and scampers through for a signal. Fair enough. Get your captain on strike while he's hot. Sotawada is... yeah, I guess I can't trust my scores here. He's on more than 1, that's for sure. I would have him on 7 at least. But anyway, back to the game in front of me. total is 50 for 5. Still in the 5th over, so as far as the run rate goes, they're on par, they're level. Wickets, well, they would have lost a few more than they'd wanted, but will that go all the way? Yes, it will. Shot. Sotawada. Great hit. Clean. Big loft on it. It's about an 8 iron, 9 iron. No, it just kept going, and 6 runs. And I expect a little more support and cheer from his team off that shot. Didn't hear much. Perhaps too tired from the heat. Bad cricket there, but Wada just looking to turn that on into space for a single. Boundary and a single. It's a good combination. But yeah, I can just looking around at the KKR fielders, they look a little flat. As I say, it's hot, very hot here in Sano. And no, his foot was firmly placed, and I think you can stop appealing. Sometimes I feel watching games in Japan, the appeals are a little excessive and a little intimidating, I want to say, on umpires. But umpire just standing in his ground there, and from my view, there was no appeal necessary. Back foot remaining firmly planted. Does, I guess, add to the tension for the batsman, perhaps. Tactic. Misses this completely. Keep it as well, just to take it on the pads. Not expecting the ball to come through, and captain Wada a little upset with himself that he didn't connect there, but he's got to put that out of his mind. Next ball. Sano just pulling out of the delivery there. 3 dots in a row for him, so this time pulled onto the onside, into a space, steep squares coming around to field it. He won't be able to inhibit 2, and that'll be the end of the over. The 9 runs coming from it, which again is about par. If we look back over the previous overs that Sano played, it's been 9, 9, 11, 14, 15, 9, so relatively been on that run rate required mark or above it since the beginning of the innings. Kawasaki Knight Riders, of course, have taken 5 wickets, and that certainly makes it, puts things in their favour. If Sano were to lose a couple of more, then, well, it's up to the tail, and that's often not an easy job, especially if you haven't played too many games at this level. These two came together at 50 for 5, put on 17, and looking through players to come, they do have those that can score runs, but whether they can score 10 and over, it's a different matter. Back live. Toyuzumi misses. Goes across the boundary as buys 4 of them. Valuable runs to the Sano effort, and well, I was a little disappointed really in the KKR fielder fielding it fine, third man, very fine, who came round to stop that ball crossing the boundary line, but made a nuisance of it. This time Toizumi just pushes out to the covers, space out there now with the fielders on the boundary. So comfortable single taken from him, brings his captain back on strike. All 5 regulation fielders back on the boundary. square, deep square, long on, long off, deep cover or a sweeper, and third man on the boundary. Wada, where will he go? Mid-wicket perhaps, cow corner. Misses. This time the fielder does not enough. And 4 buys again. So the keeper just taking off the helmet there. He's probably feeling the heat. I wouldn't like to keep myself on a day like today. Helmet on, 35 plus degrees. He's actually put the helmet on the ground behind him. And he's come back. So he was standing up, of course. And, well, after those 8 buys, someone's had a word, or he's decided himself just to shift back to a position where he can stop those crucial runs being leaked. Wada takes out sort of a Yorker length ball, squeezes it onto the offside. Tells Taizumi no run and stands his ground and dot ball. They'll like that, the KKR team. After leaking runs, and this time Wada plays onto the onside. Luckily makes it through. Almost stood admiring his shot, I would say, for a split second before setting off, but pretty quick down the wicket and safely home, even if it was a direct hit. He hit it so well, it's hit it directly to mid-on. Probably more mid-wicket. It's wide, squarish mid-on. This time Taizumi is turned back from Wada, and I tell you what, whether he wanted to take just the next ball or the next over, because that was a simple single, and it's not like Wada to turn a run down like that without reason. Taizumi played a lovely shot into the offside field. By no means directly to the fielder, probably 2-3 metres wide of him, so an easy single there, but as I say, just Wada wants to just take on this next over, perhaps expecting a particular bowler. Just wondering if it's Vinay Iyer to come in, or whether he just feels like he can shoulder the responsibility and just feels his team needs a couple of boundaries to get across the line here. He's 17 of 10 balls as Sotawada. And by the looks, I think it's Vinay Iyer to bowl for the Kawasaki Knight Riders. He took a clump of wickets in the game prior to this, all in one over. It was a game changer, actually. Well, not a game changer, a major contributor. It is Vinay Iyer. Wada just slaps him onto the onside for one. Left-hander. Perhaps Vinay enjoy bowling to the left-hander. Orthodox spin. Looking at the field that he's got, settings on the boundary. No one on the boundary behind point or square, so, and that's exactly the shot Taizumi plays. Great shot. It's good cricket. Just the awareness. He's got long levers, a bit of a reach on him as Taizumi, and he reached forward and played a lovely sweep shot behind square, 4 runs, and well, that's a good shot off the bowling of Vinay Iyer. He won't like that. As I say, the boundary riders deep cover, mid, long off, long on, deep mid wicket, and Yeah, you've almost got 3 fielders from long on and deep mid-wicket, and the 3 spaces really covering that area. And Toizumi, well, he's played it wide of deep mid-on, but just for the single. Perhaps could have been a 2 there, but I wonder if Wada really just wants to make this over. I think he would have faced Vinay Iyer a few times along national training camps. He's a very good bowler, is Iyer. Been part of that Japan national squad in the past, and oh, he gets an inside edge, skews out to the onside, and just the 1 run. Bit lucky there was Wada, but late on it. Brings the left-hander back on strike for Sano, and there's still room behind square if he can play a similar shot. Sweep. That's not out. Quick succession of appeals, 3 in a row, I believe, but yeah, I can understand Toizumi playing that shot. In the end, a dot ball, but any bat on that, and he'll definitely pick up 2, if not 4 runs. So good. I like a thinking cricketer. Maybe a strength of his, a sweep shot, but you've got to be wise and think, if I'm not going over the top, where can I pick up boundaries, if not 2s? Where are the gaps in the field? What fielders are looking a little tired or slow? Pick them out. Remember them. Big shot from ground 2. Makes its way to the middle in ground 1 here. I'll try and give you an update on that score shortly. But we're staying with this game because it looks like it could be an exciting finish. But bit of work to do. 22 runs needed, 2 overs, chasing a total of 105. Sano, as I say, it's been neck and neck all way this game. Can it go down to the final ball? Stay tuned. Wada on strike. Doesn't get all of it, just has to reach for that, giving himself room, but then reaching across to the offside and playing it into the off for 1. The left-hander comes on to strike. Toizumi having a look at the fielding change has been made. Space for him would be long on. Long on, there is a long on, but he's very straight. So between long on and cow corner, acres of room if you can get it over mid on. The sweep shot, there is room there also with the fine leg, short fine leg, but this one is wide. Yeah, he almost let it go, which was surprising, but it must have been that wide. As I say, we're not directly behind the wicket here in the commentary box. I'll try and catch that on my replay. Paula comes in again and digs it out to Toizumi. Wada calls him through. Wada now on strike. That extra helping the cause for Sano. 19 needed. And that's wide too. You can see there, Wada stretching for that. And this is not what you want from your bowler. He'll be feeling the pressure. He knows it's all about restricting boundaries. You can afford 1s, 2s, but not a boundary. So that's where he wants to put it, and just, bowling sort of Yorker length, 4th, 5th stump. Doing that, I would still have a boundary rider out on, or sweeper out on the offside, but he doesn't have that, so That's where Wada's eyeing up space. No boundary rider apart from, and that's going to fall short of third man. Yeah, the only on the offside for Wada was Fine Leg, who came round actually to field that. For the left hand, they're dropping, changing the field, of course. Very much field set for the bowling fifth stump. Wouldn't want to get too straight because Toizumi should be able to hoik you over mid-on to the mid-wicket area. This time he crashes it out onto the offside. Lots of cover out there. They won't pick up the second. And it's only the 1 run. So Sano need to be able to try and look where a 2 is here. If they're unable to pick up boundaries, then they've got to start looking at 2. 2s. 1s are not going to do it. Wada on strike. And that's a ball that's just been left, and that's not what I want to see. Yeah, it was a good quick ball, and just a shame that Wada, I think he went onto his back foot, and by the time the ball passed, well, it's hard to play a shot when it's full, and perhaps a shot you'd play off your front foot, driven through covers, but it's the fine lines of cricket. You make a split decision before judging where the ball will pitch, before executing a shot. And if you execute the wrong shot, then it usually results in a dot ball, if not a wicket. Right, final over. Sano wanting 16 to win. The previous over just going for 6 runs has popped that run rate up to the highest it's probably been in the game. Still not impossible. Toizumi will be faced with the responsibility of getting Sano back into this game. The only way to do that would be to hit a boundary in the first couple of the balls. If that doesn't happen, you feel advantage. KKR, Vinay Iyer bowls a smart delivery, just floating it up full, outside off, and not a ball you can pull or turn onto the onside. It needs to be driven. Hard to cut that too with the straightness, so Vinay Iyer, perfect person to bowl this final over, and again beats the bat, and Wada didn't want to risk the run after perhaps what could have been a run, but yeah, just pressuring. That's just tough now for Sano. 16 off 3 balls. And Wada's called him through for this time. Sorry, 3 balls remaining. Just catching up with my statistician. 15 needed of 3 balls. Fielding team, the KKR, taking time to adjust. Just make sure they've got this right. They have 4 on the leg side boundary. Mid-on, deep mid-wicket. Behind square and deep square. Wada smashes it out to mid-off, but it won't be enough. Just a single. And that leaves Toizumi on strike, who needs 14 off 2 balls. So unless it's a no ball, 6, then this game is all but over. Still has to bowl legitimate finish, but Vinay Iyer won't mess up, and he actually clean bowls him. Bowls him on the penultimate ball. Toizumi just, yeah, I guess looking to try and extract a boundary or a shot somewhere, but Iyer just yorkering him almost. Straight ball, may have turned off the wicket, hard to see from my angle. But another wicket, and with that victory to KKR, congratulations to them. They, I believe, will go to the top of the table. Will be on top of the table alongside the Falcons. I'll try and check that out for you as well as the game next door. But just here for the final ball first. We have Kakinuma, the new batsman, on strike. One ball, no pressure on him. What kind of shot's he going to play? Goes onto his back foot, crunches it through to the off, out towards the boundary, and well returned. Direct hit, actually, from the boundary. Good throw in, and Kakinuma will remain one not out. His partner and captain, Sotawada, a good innings, 23 off 19. And if we just run through some of the highlights and mentions of the game, if we can start with KKR's innings, it really was Shukla at the top with 39 and Tanwa with 20 that put a good total on the board, or a competitive total. We have to mention Ozeki's 3 for 21 and Hiratsuka Kazumasa's 2 for 17. But if we look at Sano's chase first, in terms of runs, 19 from Shotaro Hiratsuka, 19 off 9, including 1 4 and 1 6, was a good start. Good batting from Wakita Kohei, 12 off 6 balls, again adding momentum. And Soto Wada, the captain, the other major contributor, 23 off 19 balls, including 2 sixes. And unfortunately, his partnership with Toizumi at the end, who made 10 off 14, just wasn't enough to get them over the line. And what was a close game, but in the end, a win to KKR, the Kawasaki Knight Riders, by 12 runs. And have a look at the table. I believe you'll find them on top. With the finals and playoffs next weekend, we hope you join us for that. I'm sure it will be streamed. Thank you for all those watchers and viewers. We hope you join Japan Cricket again next Saturday. I'll sign off. This has been Garth Thomas. Hope you've enjoyed your day's cricket. Farewell.